Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. The market gave some good opportunities this in the morning. It kind of did what it always does. This time of year, the volume kind of goes out after the first 30 minutes. But we did have some excitement later on in the day with Tesla and one or two other stocks I saw that were making some big moves. But, this morning for me was kind of a carbon copy of yesterday. Now that I go back and look at this trade, I should have waited to get in. And there's a mental issue that I'm dealing with. And we'll talk about that here in a couple of minutes. But what I want you guys to understand, every achievement that you make, every time you achieve your goal or part of your goal, that starts with your decision to just try. Because if you never try, if you never take that step, it's never going to happen for you. I know this is a bad analogy, but guys that say, I wish I win the lottery, but if they never play, they'll never win. If they buy a ticket, they at least have a 1 in 10 million chance of winning. Somebody's going to win, but you can't if you don't you don't go buy the ticket. So you'll never be a successful trader unless you try. And I don't mean trying in a simulator or anything like that. It's putting your money on the line and trying it. And I'm showing you don't really have to put a whole lot of money on the line to get comfortable trading. You don't. You start small, you grow small, you blow up big. I mean, that's what it takes. That's what I did. I started small, I grew small, and then I blew up big because I perfected what I was doing with smaller size, with smaller account, and managing everything. So it's just a matter of trying. You gotta put yourself out there and try. You can't wait till everything is perfect, because nothing's ever gonna be perfect. There's never gonna be a perfect time to try. So you just have to decide, hey, I'm gonna go for it. And if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. Alright, so don't really want to look at this again, but this was a trade from this morning. Now, XRAY was one of the stocks on our watch. We had some real good stocks on our watch list. WTW put in a good move. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but they, just about every stock we had put in a good move except the one I was trading. Which happens a lot. So I tell people, just because I picked the stock don't mean you need to trade it. Look at everything I got on the watch list. And, because I have a habit of locking in on one stock and not really paying attention to anything else. And if this stock doesn't work, then I'm just SOL that morning. But I think it's a good thing to focus in on one stock. But I need to give 1 or 2 more stocks a chance as well. So still need to limit how many stocks I'm watching. But I probably don't need to get so much tunnel vision on this. But what I did today was the same thing I did yesterday. Here's the pre-market low. Right here. We're above the pre-market low. So if we're above the pre-market low, you don't short until you get a candle to close below the opening range low, and then the next candle to trade below it and make a low. If that doesn't happen, you don't take the trade. If it's too close, don't take the trade, because it is more than likely going to fail here. I can't get that through my thick skull, but I know what the issue is. I knew it yesterday, and it crept up on me again today. You know, I know I'm not going to be able to trade Thursday. You know, it's a travel day for me, and I wanted to get good trades Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I wanted to get a good, amount in for the week, and I've just been forcing trades, and you can't do that. It's what I talk about all the time. You can't have monetary goals at this point. When you're trading a smaller account, you can't have monetary goals because you can't give these trades the room to work that you need to. Plus, you can't trade with the size because you don't have the account for it. And, it's a hang up I have. I know it. And it's something that I have to keep working on. And it's what makes trading a smaller account tough. Now, I could switch over and trade my speed trader account and I won't miss a beat. But trading a small account is difficult. And the reason why I'm doing it, the reason why I'm suffering for you guys is so you could see just how difficult it is. But in the end, you can see how to persevere and how to trade your way out of it. That's important. Everything is very, very important. So today I had my stop in place. I had my risk set, my stop, and everybody in chat, you saw it was 39.30. I had my stop order in. But I use a market stop, a stop market order, because if I use, I can use a limit with an offset, but if it jumps it and it doesn't trigger, I can lose a ton of money. At least with a market order, I know that it's gonna fire off and I'm gonna be out of it without losing a whole lot. This is a rare occasion. This rarely happens. This is the first time that this has happened to me this year, where I had a stop and it popped up on me and it slipped 86 cents. This thing slipped on me about 86 cents. And I had to go for a walk. I had to go for a long walk. And then, I calmed myself down. And then when I came back, I realized that I did the same thing I did yesterday. I didn't wait for the right entry. Had I waited, I never would have been in this trade. Yesterday, I never would have been in that trade. And I never would have had the issue with the doggone internet deal. Here, we just got slippage. And it wasn't just Sure Trader. Because believe me, I was the first one to get ready to blame, saying this is why I quit messing with them the last time. But guys that were trading the same stock in the CME group, guys that had traded the same stock in Speed Trader, they had the same issue. Everybody that traded this stock got blown out that used the stop market. The only people that didn't are the ones that had a stop limit. So, I can't blame that on anything but the market. Because it happened with several different people in the room, using several different brokers. But they all used the DOS platform. So I don't know if it was a DOS thing. But no, I'm not looking to blame anybody. At the end of the day, I should never have been in this trade to start with. So that's the end result here. Should have never been in this trade. So I was looking to potentially take another trade, but I had to stick to my rules. And it's very disheartening because I spent 2 weeks slowly and meticulously building up, growing the account. Had a little over $1,200 in it now. Now I'm back to square one. In one day, I'm back to where I started from. And yeah, it was a mistake on my part. It was just dumb luck, from the market. But either way, it's something we got to deal with. And, I've got to start over from scratch. There's no other way around it. Got to start over from scratch. So that was a day trade today. The swing trade we took was HT. This was on our watch list. This is what we were looking at. It triggered an entry. Made a nice move up to 35. But then it ended up selling back off some at the end of the day. Closed at 34. Now, I know this says minus 408, but what happens at night is once the market closes, and this isn't a stock that typically trades after the close, orders get pulled. And when the orders get pulled, this is what happens. So it's showing, negative 408, but that's just because orders got pulled after the close. So it closed good, just above my entry. I added to this thing. I got in and then I added to it because it was working pretty good. And I may add another 1,000 shares tomorrow if it, opens and it prompts me to do so. If it doesn't, if it opens weak, then, I'm going to take it off. There's no need to hold on to it. That means this thing is failing. But we should get, I think the 200 is running up just above 36. So I'm looking for it to make that. And it should make it tomorrow if it has a good day. Should give us a pretty good lick. So this is the swing trade that I'm in. There's another one, and we'll talk about that in the morning. There's another oversold stock today that I believe is going to trigger an entry tomorrow. So I'll be all over that one as well. But we'll talk about that tomorrow morning when we're doing our setup. Now, the fun trade was Tesla. And, I had to convince myself to take this, after it had run up so much. And I actually added to this thing because I really felt confident that this thing was going to run with everything that was going. But damn if they didn't halt the stock. Now, had they not halted it, I think we would have blown off the top. My goal was up here at 389.46 was a 52-week high. We almost caught it. But didn't quite make it there because they halted it. And, we were holding through the halt. And I've been through too many to let it really concern me. But it worked out great. I had an order in. I had an order sitting there. So really, as soon as it opened, it ran up and hit the 371 order that I had in. And then, I had to take the rest off at 376. And then I got back in because I thought we were going to, finally make the run up. It started looking like it was going. Oh, this is a 60-minute chart. But it started to look like we were going to run, but it didn't. So I took half of it off at 378, and I've got 50 shares still on. So I'm waiting to see if we get a gap up in the morning or not. But we'll see. But Tesla was fun. This wasn't an all-day hold or anything like that. This was just one of those stocks that I felt I could make some money on, and I traded it It's not something that a new trader would do, and it's not something that I would do it in front of you so that you can try to mirror trade it, because you could really mess yourself up. It's just one of those stocks that could swing. And, you know, in my account, I'm able to withstand the drawdown if that's what it took. But we got 1167 out of it. Trading really small size. I only traded 150 shares because I just didn't have the confidence to trade it like I should have. You know, I only traded it with 150 shares. I usually do 300 on this, but just didn't have the confidence. And if it did get away from me, I didn't want it to hurt me, you know, that bad. So, because this morning really pissed me off. And I didn't want to go through another scenario like that. But that was the day. That was my day. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll see what the market gives us. I'm going to really focus on sticking to my rule on entry. You know, not trying to rush an entry, not trying to make something out of nothing. Just wait, let it trigger, and then get in. That's what it's going to take right now. Now, once we get into September, you know, I can take a little bit more risk. You'll see us take a little bit more risk. You'll see us enter on the break versus, you know, waiting for a confirmation. But the market will be receptive to it. Right now, the market's not receptive to it. And, you know, I must have a mental condition because I keep doing the same thing over and over again. And that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So, I got to find the right screwdriver and tighten this screw that's come loose, so we can get back on track. But you guys have a great night, and we'll get back at this thing in the morning and see what we can do on this hump day.